Hello, Springvale. I have the privilege to hear, and we have the privilege to hear, Stephanie Jackson's encounter story of Psalm 40 and why it all began. Stephanie, why did it all begin?
Well, thanks, Crystal. First of all, I just want to take you back a little bit.
Okay.
As I was growing in my faith and I wanted to do things for the Lord, I had a prayer. It was a simple prayer that I would pray every day, and it was, God, give me challenges and opportunities to know you better and be a blessing to others.
Oh, wow.
And about 11 years ago, I had the biggest challenge of my life. We experienced a crisis in our marriage, and we were completely shattered and broken and just devastated. And so I thought that sharing that story would just be terrible. It would be so shameful and so upsetting, and that people would judge. And what happened was, while attending a different church, we went to a testimony night. And I was so surprised and shocked to see people getting up and sharing vulnerably their stories of true struggle and deep hurt and adversity that was happening in their life, and how, you know, Jesus came alongside them and how they had come through it with new hope and a resilience and answers to prayer and just changes in themselves. And I found that my husband and I went up to the front. We had no plans to do that, but started sharing a little bit of our story. And it was what happened afterwards that really impacted me. Women would come up to me and say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm going through the same thing. Or I have a friend who's going through the same thing. Can I give her your number? Can you get in touch with her? And it was astounding to me, because what I sensed was that we would be shunned, and you know, people wouldn't want to talk to us, or that there would be so much more shame because the story was ugly. It was dark and it felt dirty and heavy. And then I realized, as we started sharing our stories, our testimony a little bit more, that what was happening was that the healing was happening, and my faith was growing, and God had given me this challenge as an opportunity to be able to know Him better and to be a blessing to others.
Well, and that's what you've done. You've brought that to our church. You gave us a platform where we can gather, and women can come and share those stories. So if I was coming for the first time, what would I expect at one of those events?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for whatever reason, God places, you know, a woman's name, or I hear part of her story, and I'm like, wow, that's incredible. People need to hear this. So they're everyday, ordinary women, and by that I just mean they're not professional speakers. These are women who are sharing from their heart their own personal story of brokenness, of hurt and pain. But what comes out of it is their journey, and their journey on, you know, how they leaned into God, and how, you know, scripture and song and friends and support and counseling and coaching and recovery groups have come alongside to help them get through it and to heal and have freedom. So when when people come, they're going to hear an authentic story, and we keep it as a safe space, so that it's confidential. Women come, they hear somebody else's story, they can actually see themselves reflected in this story, and also know to pray for each other and to support one another and come alongside in a very powerful, real, palpable, like friendship way, without that judgment. And as we share our stories of brokenness, we do find the healing and the ability to go on, and the resilience and the hope that's there.
Well, I want to thank you for that program, because every time I've attended, I'm so encouraged. I'm going to say I'm encouraged by two things. Number one is I'm encouraged because we're all broken, all have sinned. And so we all come broken before God, and when He puts those pieces together, it is a beautiful masterpiece. And that's a scriptural principle. Number two is the gospel is always presented, and because the answer is Jesus. And so that is the answer to these stories, is how Jesus helped them, and I love that. So just one quick question before we end. Who comes to this, and who should I bring the next time? Well, I think even tonight there might be one, but who should I bring?
Yeah, that's a great question. Anyone and everyone, your neighbors, your sister, your best friend, the people in your life group, really anybody can benefit from this story because it is a person's real, authentic story, and they're going to hear how they got through it and to support. So just invite.
Okay.
Just invite.
Thank you, Stephanie.